I'd gone to school, gone back home, was playing with my brothers, were playing basketball, and my sister walked into the house and she was very surprised, not having seen first my mom's car, and then said, well, where is mom? I said, well, I was supposed to be in some place. She was supposed to pick you up after work. I said, well, she did come, but I told her that I was going to work a little later and to come back or I'll call her, but she never did. Mm. And my sister at that moment was a bit distraught. And so she called, and then as she was making the phone call and she said hello, there was a different person at the end of the line.
Who's on the other line?
So one of the perpetrators that kidnapped my mom is on the other line, yes.
And what are they saying?
I still to this day do not know what they said to her. So my sister collapsed immediately, and my aunt picked up the phone seeing this, and my brothers and I trying to help my sister at that moment to kind of gain consciousness again to see what exactly happened. We were shocked at her reaction. And my aunt, and to her credit, kind of kept her composure, said, okay, and hang up the phone, and immediately called my dad. And my dad was aware of the situation. And afterwards, she proceeded to tell us that your mother's been abducted. The fear was that, especially with the cases that had happened before, that something would happen to her. And having heard the news and the many people that were kidnapped prior to my mom, those who were released, came out, some of them burnt, some of them tortured, some of them different things happened to them. And so that's where my mind went immediately afterwards. Okay, if she does come back, which we hope that she would, how, in what condition would she be? So on Sunday morning, it wasn't a regular Sunday morning, but it felt like another Sunday, we woke up and my brother's godmother came to the house. So over this series of the weekend, we had many people that came, that were praying with us, supporting us, encouraging us. Don't worry, things will happen. God will provide, things of that nature. And she said that my mom had been preparing for my youngest brother's first communion all week long. And it would have been something she would have looked forward to and anticipated, knowing her faith and everything that goes with that. And so she said, well, I've come to pick him up because he's supposed to be at the church at a certain time. And I know your mom's not here, so I'll take the role and do so. I know this is a very tragic moment, but who better can help than God? That was her mindset. And she was right, very much so.
And then eventually your mother returns. Your mother is released from the captors.
Yes.
So tell me about the emotion. We only have a couple minutes left.
Sure.
Tell me about the emotion of seeing your mother again and what happened.
It was exhilarating. It was... And
did she just show up? Like, how did this all unfold?
We had a phone call that says that she would be coming back. And the phone call rang in the afternoon. This was after all the events had happened with the church. And I remember it was an answer to a prayer. I remember praying after myself going to communion and going back to my pew, praying that, Lord, your son died on a Friday, and my mom was taken this past Friday. Your son rose on a Sunday. Would you bring my mom back this Sunday? And I remember that was not a prayer that I could have prayed on my own. This is truly the Holy Spirit praying through me at that moment. And I felt that when she came and she crossed those doors and we had heard that phone call. When we got the phone call, I was still in disbelief that she was coming back. But when I saw her cross that threshold, I was like, this is the answer. And everything, it's hard to explain exactly what happened. So it's just that joy and excitement, but at the same time, that joy and excitement that, oh my God, really, not in a very blasphemous way, but oh my God, you have answered our prayers. You have answered our prayers.
And am I correct that in part of your conversation with God was that if he had returned your mother, that you were devoting your life to serving him?
Partly, and this was me at the end. And I had said at the end of my prayer, like, Lord, I will do anything for you. I will give my life for you, as long as you bring my mom back, for the sake of my siblings, for the sake of my dad. But I will dedicate my life to you, not knowingly what I was saying at the time. And it was later on in hindsight that I figured, as when I entered the seminary a few years later, that I remembered going back and thinking about the events of my life. Remember, you prayed that prayer, and now you're here. And it was just like an eye-opener, like, wow, God is guiding me.